When I think back to my formative years in the 60s and 70s, I remember many things. I remember parents and family now long since passed away, and friends long since lost to the parting of ways which so often follows the transition from childhood through adolescence into adulthood. I remember sights, sounds, smells, and even a spectrum of tastes ranging from the inedible school dinner cheese pie to the delights of the home-cooked Sunday roasts, the remains of which sustained us well into the following week with many variations on a theme of mincemeat and bubble and squeak. I remember the simple pleasures to be had from the offerings of just 2 TV channels, increasing to a dizzy 3 once we had a rented TV upgrade to a set which could receive BBC Two, and more importantly for us at the time, the newfound glory of colour. I vividly recall the single biggest impact that colour TV had on me was the coming to life of my favourite programme, Star Trek, as Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Scotty, Uhura, Sulu and Chekhov now sported uniform colours of gold, red and blue, where previously anonymous shades of grey left no clue as to which crew members were about to be wiped out on the planetary surface. Only the red-shirted Scotty seemed to escape this weekly fate. There were simpler times when we were engrossed by a limited stream of on-screen entertainment for which time had to be set aside for viewing in an age when there was no facility for recording content to be enjoyed at later convenience. I struggle now to attribute to those rewarding days of basic entertainment the altered states associated with childhood perspectives, or to something more fundamental associated with a time when the public psyche and credo were rooted in different, more noble values. I'm coming more and more to the view now that today's much reported increasing prevalence of mental health issues and depression is a direct consequence, at least in part, of the complexities of modern life. In short, we have way too many choices, and when we have too many choices, we never really arrive at a point of satisfaction. Now, this not only applies to the eye-watering number of broadcasts and online entertainment streams available to us, but also to the fundamentals of food and clothing, and for those of us lucky enough to be able to afford such things, luxuries such as cars and motorcycles. We're told that we are living in an age where almost endemic levels of clinical chronic depression threaten the very fabric and good order of society. We're also told that these conditions are becoming increasingly present in children, something which would have been regarded as unthinkable in the 60s, 70s and to some extent 1980s. We have today been encouraged, indeed brainwashed, to believe that endless sources of online entertainment offer an escape from the anxieties of daily life, a form of freedom from the shackles of day-to-day survival. But to my mind, such opportunities, far from offering freedom, offer a form of mental incarceration which can be difficult to escape for a society drugged with corporate propaganda. Of course, back when I was a kid, I did not have the day-to-day worries experienced by my parents. I was largely, though not completely, shielded from such concerns as the cost of living and the declining physical capacities of my smoking and drinking parents, who were in their 60s by the mid-1970s, a time when inflation was rampant, wages low, unemployment high, and effective healthcare limited. But I don't recall that the mental well-being of regular working people was ever an issue of broad concern, beyond the most extreme and mercifully rare cases requiring institutionalisation. I'm as sure as I can be that we were by and large happy in spite of, or is that because of, the fact that we didn't have much. We didn't have much stuff, and we didn't have much in the way of choices. Perhaps the reality is that today's much reported mental health issues did exist back then, but that the post-war spirit of pulling oneself together ensured that they remained understood as nothing more than the ups and downs of daily life. I think that the reason that these issues, once proudly held in check by people, are now breaking cover on such a scale is because we now know too much about too much, and we have too much, and we want too much. Thus it is that our material desires are never sated, because we can never arrive at a final position where we can say we have tried everything and know which of that everything is best for us. Motorcycles can be a classic example of this. So many choices and so many ways of financing our desires that some of us, and I include myself, will likely never acquire that perfect two-wheeled acquisition, and thus never feel fully sated. Such a position can be at the root of so much dissatisfaction and can ultimately lead to feelings of depression. But, in a perverse way, the causes of some of these feelings can also provide the basis for escaping them. Allow me to elaborate. Depression is a pervasive mental health condition that affects millions of people worldwide. While therapy and medication are essential treatments, the environment also plays a crucial role in mental well-being. Increasingly, research suggests that spending time in the countryside can significantly reduce symptoms of depression. The natural tranquility, beauty, and connectedness found in rural areas can contribute to significantly improve mental health. One of the most significant benefits of the countryside is its abundant natural surroundings. Studies have apparently shown that exposure to green spaces lowers cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress, which is often linked to depression. Unlike urban environments, which can be noisy and overwhelming, the countryside offers peaceful landscapes, rolling hills, forests and open fields, and these promote relaxation. The Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku, which means forest bathing, highlights how simply being in nature can enhance mood and reduce anxiety. The fresh air, natural sunlight, which boosts vitamin D and serotonin, and the calming sounds of birds, babbling brooks and rustling leaves create a therapeutic atmosphere that urban settings cannot replicate. Taking regular rides into the countryside often encourages a more active lifestyle, which is known to combat depression. Rural areas provide ample opportunities for our two-wheeled therapy and the physical applications of throttle, brakes, gears and positioning release endorphins, the body's natural mood lifters, and helps regulate sleep patterns, which are often disrupted in people with depression. Unlike city dwellers who may spend hours commuting or sitting indoors, those in the countryside are more likely to engage in outdoor labour or recreational activities, keeping both the body and mind healthier. Depression can be exacerbated by feelings of isolation, a common issue in fast-paced life. In contrast, rural communities tend to be tighter knit, fostering social connections that are vital for mental health. Neighbours in the countryside are more likely to know each other, offer support and engage in communal activities. This sense of belonging can alleviate loneliness, a major contributor to depression. This is why the notion of the motorcycling community is also important, where our perceived collective identity can help dispel notions of isolation and loneliness. And that's why organisations like MAG, the Motorcycle Action Group, are so critical to maintaining and strengthening our identity and our feelings of belonging. It's amazing what a true sense of purpose can do towards improving our mental well-being. So, if you find yourself in low mood, don't stew in it. Take the bull by the horns and go for a ride in the countryside. Better still, if you can, then go in a small group, because a shared experience is variably an enhanced one. And perhaps most importantly of all, do what you can to ensure that our freedoms to ride are preserved by supporting groups like MAG. When being free to ride whenever and wherever we like is so crucial to our mental health, it might even be a matter of life and death. Al Sidi.
Thank you.